The story of the Poker Bride is the story of Polly Bemis, who as a teenage girl was sold into slavery by her parents in China during a famine because they were starving. She wound up in an Idaho gold mining camp, and her story is the story of the quintessential American survivor. In Idaho, she is a celebrated piece of folklore, where she's known as the Poker Bride. Whether or not she was won in a poker game is one of those Western stories that, there's always will remain a little murky. Polly's life is the story of the Chinese in the American West. When James Marshall found gold on the American River in January of 1848, the event that triggered the California Gold Rush, one of the great migrations of mankind in our history, certainly. There was virtually no one living on the Pacific slope, really. And California was not a state and only recently part of Mexico. The news of the discovery of gold in the American West was said to have reached Hong Kong before it reached Boston. And the Chinese wasted no time coming to California, which they called Golden Mountain. The experience of the Chinese in the American West was often a grim experience. They were subjected to a great deal of discrimination. The vast majority of them couldn't speak English, couldn't read English, couldn't write English. They were marginalized in lots of ways, large and small, but they were a very significant workforce in the construction of the Transcontinental Railroad and in the opening of mines. Then they did a million other things too. There wasn't a fly-blown town in the American West that didn't have a Chinese restaurant or a laundry. Men in China did not do the laundry, but in the American West it provided them with a niche. They did things that other people didn't want to do because it gave them a way of functioning in America. The American West in the 19th century was the West of the Chinaman's chance, which was no chance at all. 19th century newspapers are full of graphic, horrifying descriptions of Chinese prostitutes and Chinese girls committing suicide. So Polly survives, and at the end of her life is this very jolly soul living on a little ranch on the banks of the Salmon River, a kind of memory of the old days that is very intriguing. Her story is a story of so many of the things we associate with the Chinese in the West. It's a mysterious story. It's a story that is violent. It's a story involving a fair bit of romance. It's a story involving a certain amount of tall tale telling, as many in a Western story does. And yet at the same time, it's a true story. It's a piece of history that is enduring. And it is part of that place in history where fact and fantasy mix. And that's no place more so than in the American West.